In this video, you will learn how to find mean, median, and mode for a sample dataset. USH Financial is examining the use of its Midtown ATM machine. The numbers of transactions made per day at this ATM during the past 8 days are as follows: 84, 74, 74, 70, 75, 58, 53, 74. Our task is to find the mean, median, and mode or modes for this sample dataset. First of all, I would like to start by introducing some notation, or maybe reminding you of some notation that will be useful in this example. Sample mean will be represented by variable x with a bar on top of it. We literally say x bar. Sample median can be represented by uppercase letter M or abbreviated as MED. There is no abbreviation for mode, so we are going to just write word mode for that reason. Lowercase n will represent a sample size, and uppercase Greek letter sigma, written like this, will identify the fact that we are finding a sum of some numbers. Therefore, to find x bar or sample mean of the given dataset, I need to add all values, and I'm indicating this by the summation of all x's, and divide that by the sample size of 8 elements. So I'm going to add all of my elements and divide by how many I have. The resulting number happens to be 562. When I add divided by 8, the number after this division comes out to be 70 and 25/100. Please notice that each time you will need to find these types of quantities, most likely they will not come out to be nice integers or whole numbers. It's very likely that you will have some decimals present. For that reason, you have to pay attention to the directions on rounding, always. In this case, we need to round to 1 decimal place. If there are no directions on rounding, a rule of thumb is that you round to 1 extra decimal place compared to the data itself. In this case, this rule is consistent because I have whole numbers in my data set. If I need to add an extra decimal place to a whole number, it will have to be nearest 10th or 1 decimal place, as we are asked to round anyway. So when I round this solution, I'm going to get approximately 70.3 because 2, when rounded, 5 will make an impact on 2 and it will increase it by extra 1 value. All right, so we found our mean, sample mean, to be 70 and 3/10. Now it's time to find the median. To do that, first I need to order my data elements from least to greatest, which I already did. Then you need to find the middle 1 value if you have an odd number of elements. In this case, I have even number of elements, so I'm looking for the middle 2 values, and here they are. 74 and 74 happen to be right in the middle of this data set when I ordered all my elements from least to greatest. In this case, to find the median, you need to add the 2 middle values and divide by 2. In other words, you're looking for average of these 2 quantities only. Well, average of 74 and 74, of course, is 74 itself. So I am concluding that median is 74. Finally, we need to find the mode. The mode is value or values that show up in the dataset more often than other values. Sometimes you may have 2 modes. If 2 values show up more often compared to the rest of the data, but it has to be the same number of times between the 2 of them. In this case, when I look at my data that is organized in order, it's much easier to see whether there are repeated values or not if they're ordered. I can clearly see that 74 shows up 3 times and no other data element does that. So 74 is clearly my mode. Here is another example. The story is the same. We have 10-day data available, and the data elements are 71, 73, 80, 73, 92, 73, 91, 92, 92, 69. Our task, just like before, is to compute the mean, median, and mode for the given data set. Sample mean x bar is equal to the sum of all elements divided by the number of elements n. In our case, I add 71, 73, and the rest of the data elements until I reach the end of the list. And then I divide by how many I have, and I know that I have 10 items because there are 10 days records given to us. When I added these 10 quantities, I got 806 to be divided by 10, which gives me 80.6. Notice directions are saying round to one decimal place. There's no need to round because numbers came out to be in the same format. So my answer will be 80.6 for the mean right here. To find the median or the middle number, I need to arrange my data set in order from least to greatest, which I did right here. And then my task will be to find the middle number or numbers. Because again, there are 10 elements, even number of them, there's no way for me to get a single number in the middle. Right now, I have two numbers in the middle right here. It's 73 and 80. So I need to find the average of those two, or the middle ground between them. And as you can see, I added 73 and 80, divided by 2 to find the average between them, to find the exact middle ground right here between these two numbers. And it happens to be 76.5. That is my median. Finally, the mode. Mode is the number that shows up most frequently in my set. Mode is easiest to find when I look at my data when it's arranged in order. As you can see, I have 3 values of 73 showing up and 3 values of 92 showing up, and those are most frequent compared to the rest of the elements. Because they show up the same number of times, 3 times each, they both are modes.